What's up, thieves? My name is Xaru, and today we're talking about a very important subject. As usual, as I'm scrolling Twitter, I'm going to be talking about this. Jobs. Very important. I learned a little lesson in my life. You know, not like I'm an old wise man standing atop a tree giving you all this crazy advice, but it just life experience, life experience from someone who's pretty young, which doesn't really make much sense, it doesn't look really legit, but who cares about that? So I thought about this question, right, about jobs. Like, what type of job should you get? Should you get a job that you absolutely love and would die for, so your life purpose? Or should you get a job that gives you as much money as possible? And so I asked a question to a friend of mine, and what my friend of mine said, and kind of stunned me. He said that, okay, well, the question I asked him is, look, you could either get the job of your dreams with low stability, or get a job that you somewhat dislike, but makes a lot of money. Basically, would you accept studying something that you don't necessarily like just to be able to make money out of it? Would you go pursue higher education just so that you could have that stability? And I didn't know what he was going to say, right? But I didn't expect in my mind, I did secretly expect him to say that he would choose a job that he loves instead of the job that brings stability. Because it was like, well, I mean, you wouldn't do something that you don't like. It would make you unhappy. Like, who would choose this option? But to my greatest surprise, he actually chose the job. He chose the high-paying job. And then I asked him why, and then we had a chat about this, and it really opened my mind. So I've got a brand new perspective on this, basically. So in terms of finding a job, I'm gonna assume that you're someone who doesn't really know what they want to do. Okay, I was in that same scenario. Don't worry about it. Well, in terms of finding a job, I believe we can take two extremes. Okay, on one side of the spectrum, you get a job that you really fucking love, you really enjoy. It's the job of your dreams, like the craziest thing of all time, You're working for a succubus, I don't know, you just love this job, man. It's the job of your life. You love it, right? However, this job of your life has low stability. It's something that's very competitive. You're not sure you're actually going to get your money every month. Think of it as an artist or an actor or anything in some creative field or some field that's somewhat uncertain, or oversaturated, something like that, all right? I hope we all understand each other on this one. And then there's the other extreme, which is a job that gives you mucho dinero, which is, let's say, like $7,000 a month, which is pretty good according to me, but, well, the USA is another place, so I don't know how much is a lot to you guys. But so you got 7K a month, right? On the other side, but it's a job that you don't really like. It's a job that, in fact, you hate and you don't find interesting at all. You don't find any meaning in it, you don't find any enjoyment out of it, but it pays a lot of bucks. Well, let's analyze each scenario. In the case that you pick out a job that you find really fun, but has low stability, what's going to happen is that, okay, here's how your life is going to look like. You're going to have a job that you like, but your life is not going to be very secure. There will be low security around you, low stability. You're going to realize I really love that term when talking about jobs, because to me, jobs are mostly stability. You're going to have low stability. You're going to be jumping from job to job, not really being sure, not really knowing for certain if you're going to be able to pay the bills in 2 months, because jobs just come and go in this industry. It's not an industry that's really needed, necessary. For example, you could compare an artist to a doctor. I would say a doctor is much more needed than an artist. Not to say that art is absolutely not needed for society. I think that art is beneficial to society, to mankind. I think it's great. I think that art gives motivation, gives figures of example. It brings beauty into this world through the human creativity, Yeah, I'm just wanking my intellectual right now. The thing is that it's kind of an oversaturated business, and also it's not one of the most necessary things on earth. So if you had to make a tier list of the necessary jobs, you would have a factory worker in A tier, because you need someone to make those products that other people are going to use. It is needed. And then on B tier, you would have an artist. So that's really the way it is, right? So not to say that art is useless, but just to say that you could do without it. People would not be as willing to pay artists as they would be willing to pay a doctor, a policeman, whatever you want, right? Some stuff like that, or a lawyer, or whatever, something that they actually need in society. They're obligated to pay for one. Artists, well, it's kind of, how to say, optional. It's kind of optional, especially nowadays with AI coming up. Like, artists are going to be very optional. You know, you're not going to need to hire artists for commissions. Graphic design, well, I mean, give that to an AI and boom, you got a logo. That's it, you know? And then you could say, no, it's soulless. Okay, who gives a damn? Like, corporations don't, okay, if it's soulless. As long as the job is done, they're gonna get that AI to do the job, so. But yeah, that's my example. I don't want to be all doomer and shit saying, we're gonna lose our jobs, we'll all die. Like, no, I'm not saying that. Maybe we will. Who knows? Who cares? Honestly. Well, who cares? No, it's pretty important, but you get what I mean. But so, that's how your life is gonna be like. So it's not really optimal. Now look at the second case scenario, where you actually find a job that pays a lot of money, but you don't really like that job. So what's gonna happen? Well, you know, you're here, you're doing your job, all fine. You got that social credit because people are gonna think you're pretty cool for having that job, right? And you're getting that 6K, 7K, I don't even know how much money I said, but you're getting a lot of money. That's all that matters here, right? And you get all that money every month. So you buy a big house, you buy a good car, and all that stuff. And then at some point, I do believe that you will maybe feel empty. You will maybe start feeling empty. Now, I'm saying maybe because I don't like making, like, generalities, oh, that's the absolute truth, but I think at some point you'll feel empty. Because really, having too much money is really a rich man's problem. You only realize how shallow the happiness that money provides is when you're rich. Like, poor people, they would love to get money, but those who have a lot of money, those who really have the bucks in the bank account, they just realize, well, I've got all those bucks, but really, well, they talk about happiness, but really that stuff seems overrated, you know? Like, yes, I've got a lot of cash, I've got the luxuries all around me, and now what? Like, I bought what I wanted to buy, and it's shallow. There is nothing, and ends there, just as I talked in my previous video, right? You have a goal, and then you get to that goal, you get to that thing, and then what? It just feels empty, it just feels like there is nothing else. You don't feel as good as you thought you would. Like, I believe that a job would still give you a bit of happiness, a bit of meaning. Of course, you don't get all your happiness from a job, but at least a little bit, you know? Which is the second case scenario where you find a lot of meaning in your job, you love it, but low stability. Well, here in this scenario, you've got a lot of stability, a lot of cash, but there's no meaning in what you do. Now, yeah, I'm not saying that all the happiness comes from the job. Of course, you have other things that bring you happiness, like family, like all this stuff, you know. I think that what brings you the most happiness in a life is probably the relationships, how you see life, and probably the objective and purpose, you know. Those are the three things. Not a philosopher, by the way, just a dumbass on the internet. You should do well to remember that. Which side do you choose? Modern man, modern woman, modern anybody? Which side do you choose? Do you choose the shallowness of wealth, or the happiness but discomfort of being broke? The low stability, but happy, I suppose, but not really happy because you're still stressed out about your rent, or the other one where, well, you're not happy at all even though you got all the money in the world. Well, I believe that the truth lies in between. The truth lies in the middle. You should find a job that you both like to a certain degree, but it also provides you with stability that you know is needed, and that you know people are gonna have to pay you once you get out of whatever institution you went to learn about that trade, that specific job. So basically, you take something that society needs. Because really, if society doesn't need you, they're not gonna be like, oh, but he studied so many years, man. Oh, I feel so bad for him. No, all the opposite. You studied many years for something like acting school? Well, we've got too many actors. Get the fuck out of here. You don't give a damn. You need to understand that. You are the only person that really cares about yourself. And it sounds sad, it sounds bad, and, well, I don't think it is, personally. But, yeah, that's just how it is, okay? You're the only person that cares about yourself all that much, okay? Or you can say, oh, my parents care about myself. Shut up. They won't be here for you at all times, okay? At some point, parents will unfortunately be gone. You're always going to be with yourself at all times, at all points in life. You can never separate yourself from yourself. So that's what I'm saying. You really are your biggest fan. And as I said in the League video, wow, another reference, you also are your biggest saboteur. So watch out for that. But so the truth lies in the middle. You should really just go and find a job that you both enjoy to a certain degree, but it is still needed in society. So what would those jobs be? Well, I don't know. Find it for yourself. I don't fucking know. But I believe you are smart enough to understand what jobs society would actually require and would be willing to pay, and, you know, what markets shouldn't really be oversaturated. And then you might be like, well, okay, I somewhat enjoy the job to a certain degree, but it's still not my life purpose. Am I missing the point here? You know, like, why not maximize the happiness? Isn't that a great idea? Well, you can't always have everything, really. You know, like, what we want is the best of both worlds, which is both the stability and the happiness. And for that, you need to look in the middle. Now, by looking in the middle, you won't get the maximum of each. You won't get the maximum of money. You won't get the maximum of happiness. Except, of course, if, you know, you like something that brings a lot of money. In that case, goated. But if you don't, I think it's fine. Because at the end of the day, you still need to remember that your job is just a means to an end, you know, it's just like a way to get money. A job is just here for you to survive. Okay, then why not just pick the stability thing? Well, I think that you still need to like the job to a certain degree, even still, you know. Even though I just said it's something that you need to live, and that's about it, like, I still think you need to like it a little bit. Because you're going to be spending a lot of time doing it. Like, I wouldn't like spending a lot of time doing something for money that I absolutely hate. That would be the worst thing on earth. Like, just think about how much time you spent working for someone else in your life. It's an enormous amount of time. Might as well enjoy it at least a little bit, you know? And it's a means to an end, but might at least like it a small, fair bit. I do realize that my take has many holes in it, many points that you could attack, you know, you could counter arguments, and, well, I would be glad to read those counter arguments in the comments. I always like reading the comments, you know, because they're perspectives that I never even thought about, right? Because I can't think of all the arguments by myself. Or if I could do that, if I could debate myself like a certain philosopher did, Plato? I don't know who did it. Well, such a schizo guy, right? If I could do that, it would take too much effort. I wouldn't be willing to do that. I'd rather bring you into the dialogue and see what you have to say as well. I think that's very constructive form of debate, and that's what's needed to make society move forward. Really, what I want to do is expose you to different thoughts and opinions and stuff, and you know, you just listen to me and you hear it and you think about it. That's about it. I don't know if I've made my point come across. I don't know if I've talked too much. I don't know if this video was funny, interesting, or anything. I never know, you know, but as I said in the last video, I'm gonna stop doing that. But yeah, I don't really care. At the end of the day, like, I'm just bored. Honestly, I'm just giga bored. Content is somewhat all I have. So yeah, here you go. That's the video. That's my message. Choose something in the middle, okay? And I think you'll be fine, because you can still pursue your hobbies and your life purpose on the side and try to maybe make a career out of it, a more stable career, right? But on the side, so for example, you could work a normal job as a, I don't know, man, a delivery driver, and at the same time work on your dreams of becoming a YouTuber. That's totally possible. That's totally viable. Or study for law school, or whatever the fuck you want to do. I mean, law school. I mean, you might as well go to school. Like, that's a job that society needs. You don't have a problem. You don't have a problem at all. Why are you here? Get the fuck out. You're fine, dude. I'm just saying that you need to enjoy You need to like your job at least to a certain extent, at least a little bit. Because really, in the extreme that I told you about, when I said that you didn't like your job, it's like you really did not like it. You really do not like the job. In the scenario where you get a lot of money, but, you know, you really don't like the job. And you might be right now like, it's fine, I get a lot of money, I get back home, I do whatever I want. Okay, for how long will you be able to do that? Like, I'm telling you, a job is a lot of your lifetime. A lot. Every week. Almost every month. Every year, you're gonna be working. For how long will you be able to sustain that? Going to a job you don't like and then coming back home, just thinking about the money. For how long will the money be enough motivation for you to keep going? That I do not know, only you know. This is not a rhetorical question, like it's a genuine question, you know. But anyways, I don't have much else to say. My name was Zaru. Thanks for watching as usual, as I greatly appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. Bye bye now. Bye bye.